Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for March Comes In Like a Lion, chapter 180. When we last left our heroes, we saw Kiriyama still kind of going over the details of the Nikaido Shigeta match, kind of being in awe of all of the, off-the-beaten-path strategies they used, and then he realized he just really wanted to see Hina, and so he went to go see Hina. Who was prepping some kind of spring wrapping for the sweets, which I think means that given the last arc was New Year's, I think we're getting close to spring now. Maybe we're in mid to late February, I think. Either way, we kind of saw how Hina sort of felt really bad for this perception that she had taken Kiriyama away from studying shogi, so she got really hard at work on her own job. And then Kiriyama and Akari made Hina some cocoa. That's kind of where we left off. Just them kind of being cute together. Our picture here is of someone, not Nobidome, not entirely sure who this is, actually, exercising. The winner of Grand Prize for the 24th Japan Media Arts Festival Manga Division. Add that to the Manga Taisho Award, Kodansha Manga Award, and Tezuka Osamu Cultural Award. And this manga has achieved a quadruple crown. Your support has been a great source of strength. Thank you. So yeah, that's a lot of love for this series. Anyway, we open with, Kiriyama and Hina are still talking. I think this is immediately after last chapter, though I'm not entirely sure exactly what's going on. Hina says, I guess, maybe. And Rei responds, yeah. Due to the whole manga decks being shut down, I can't actually go, take a quick look into the end of last chapter to remind myself of the context for this exact line. But let's just roll with it. We then see, Rei continuing to say something. As we see him in, a world of shogi pieces. Hina-chan, I want to say thanks. Your onigiri really helped me make progress in my research. Really? Yeah, loads of progress. I even took some detours in my research. That led me to some stuff that seems like it'll be really useful. And then Hina is just, super excited. I'll make you some more! This time I'll make Shio Konbo onigiri with lots of white sesame seeds. Those are great if you put just a little dribble of sesame oil in them. That sounds good. And then Hina just kind of goes off on a tangent. And then Rei looks at her. But what? Not really a tangent, more of a, having a sudden idea. If I make a lot, then will you not be coming by as often? And we see Hina's super blushing now. And then Hina just kind of goes off. I definitely don't want to do something make your hard work go to waste, but I miss you. So we're starting to see Hina really start to be honest about her feelings for Rei here. Despite the fact that Rei has been honest about his feelings for Hina for 80 or 90 chapters now. But we're seeing Hina saying herself what Akari kind of told Rei last chapter. Anyway, and when I try to just tough it out, I start going in circles to the point that I don't even know what I should be doing. I was pretty surprised. So I figured I need to just forget about you. And Rei's just, huh? Forget about me? I don't want that. No, sorry I said that wrong. More like, I need to try not to think about him. Okay, yeah. Anytime like that, just feel free to send me a text. At any time of day. Huh? And I'll zip right over here. So yeah, we're seeing, again, sort of the shifting, a bit of a shifting priorities. That Rei has kind of noticed, that shogi is no longer the end-all be-all of his existence, that he has this kind of fallback position. Not even really a fallback position, but just, another part of his life. That, has been a part of his life for the whole series, but, he now values it at the same level or higher than he values shogi. It's just more, seeing Rei's character development is always just really nice. Even if it's not exactly new character development, this is very old stuff. But anyway. But what if it's at a time when you're really concentrating? I don't want to be a nuisance. And Rei just tells her flatly, as the not really a stage direction, but a stage direction notes, you won't be. Huh? Any text from you wouldn't be the least bit a nuisance. Huh? There's not any second of the day where you'd be bothering me. And Hina's kind of taken aback by his directness. Kiriyama-kun? And then he turns to her now. because there's not a moment that goes by when I don't want to see you. I really hope you understand that. I'd like to see you anytime. And he like starts to wave his hands over as like they sparkle. I'd really like it if you took that as an absolute given. All right, so more good ReiHina development. I'm very much on the record of not exactly being a ReiHina shipper. I'm not like an anti-ReiHina shipper. If this is your first time with my March videos, but it's not exactly a ship I really give a damn about. That's not quite the right way to put it. I just generally like Rei's relationship with the Kawamotos as more kind of sibling-like. But, I mean, at this point, I've long since kind of acquiesced to the fact that this is the route the manga is taking. It's not something like, to go on a bit of a tangent here, not something like Kuku's Fiancé, where, like, Nagi and Sachi are siblings, even if they're not blood-related. That's not what's going on with Rei and Hina. And I'm not arguing that it is. I just like their more sibling, the kind of early, not quite romantic bond they had in the early chapters, to their direct romance. Though it is nice that romance has helped Rei break out of his shell, which is a really important part of the story, and makes my not being a huge romance fan for this series, it makes the romance worth it, that Rei has kind of broken out of his shell because of it. Anyway, that tangent aside, Hina starts kind of like tear up at Rei's directness. Okay, got it. There'll be times when I can't respond immediately, but that won't be because I don't want to or anything. It'll be because I'm in a situation where I really can't move. So in times like that, I'll definitely respond with, I can do it tomorrow at 8, or I've got a match in 2 days, but I can definitely do it in 3 days. Really, Rei-chan? If you really can't, you'll really say so? Actually, I also like this too. They're like, just because the Kawamotos are, Hina especially, is more important to him than just his career. He's broadened his horizons to beyond the shogi fixation of the early days. He's still he's not like abandoning his job. That's a nice clarification there. Anyway, and really, Rei-chan? If you really can't, you'll really say so? And Rei responds, it'll be tough for me to do. It'll be tough, but I will. Okay, but you won't go, I feel bad saying no, and force yourself into an unreasonable schedule? Oh, hold on, that sounded like a question. But it doesn't seem to be a question, because Rei just says, okay. Just be upfront, okay? Got it. The two of them bounce different ideas off each other. Like when they wanted to see the other, they'd say, let's have a meal together. And when one wanted to see the other but didn't have much time, they'd say, let's have a snack together. So we're seeing, I really like how kind of mature this relationship is. Yeah, they're very, like, open with each other. Honestly, this is as much as I've been a ReiHina shipper ever. I just like the kind of understanding and maturity they're taking to their relationship. I really like that, actually. And they decided that the I want to see you for when you're in super big emotional trouble is, I want to drink cocoa. And then we come into Rei's inner narration. God, I found my way to an incredible place. And I found a person that I can think, I wonder if they're doing okay. And when that person feels lonely, I feel strained too. And I like this shot of just like the exterior of the city and the river as it comes down, that sort of like, kind of ring-like chain sort of vibe. Like, it has a very kind of like fairy tale, L-E, not the manga I-L, fairy tale, vibe there. As it cuts down to just Rei and Hina talking with no background around them. Like, nothing else in the world matters beyond the two of them. Anyway, Rei's narration continues. It's such a heavy, heart-wrenching happiness. And then Hina smells something. Huh? Isn't that the smell of rice cooking? And Akari peeks in. I just cooked out some rice. Will the two of you make some onigiri again? Excuse me. Will the two of you make some onigiri again? Maybe some for our lunchboxes, too. And Rei, who is all of a sudden holding one of the cats, who's like, the cat is like kicking Rei. I have no idea when that started. He just says, no problem. Okay. After that, the two of them made onigiri together and talked a whole lot. About eraser stamps and a menu she'd like to make for the stand in spring. and while eating the onigiri they made that day, about how much he wanted to prepare for his next match. And then I think this is Hina. Ah, that's right. Maybe I should make some sweet scrambled eggs for the lunch boxes. Shifting, let's hold off on that narration for a bit. I started that one too early, I think, because we have a bit more time with Rei and Hina just talking. Ah, scrambled eggs. I made them before with Mrs. Koda. Mind if I try? Well, really? I'd love to try some you made. And then the narration. Shifting elsewhere. Let's go back in time a bit to Shimada 8-dan on that same night. Oh boy. We cut to Shimada walking home. I don't think this is the same night as the Nikaido match, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's been at least a day or two. But I might be wrong there. Anyway, he's walking back from somewhere. This is just plain harrowing. This 1.3 kilometers. I wish I'd taken the Chiyoda line. And then, this might actually be the same night as the Nikaido match, because we cut to the Shimada's flashback within the flashback takes him back to the Shogi Association building. So this might be right after the match as Rei leaves, which means that Rei's studying and then going to Hina's all on the same night. I think the timeline is a little bit obscured right now. Anyway, huh? You're going home? Come on, stay a bit and drink with us. You need something to wash down the match, right? So yeah, this is definitely the same night as the Nikaido match. Okay. I did not figure that last chapter. That's right, Shimada-kun. If you don't take time to digest properly, you'll have dreams within dreams. Just like this flashback within a flashback, eh? And Shimada just says flatly, I just want to hurry home, eat, take a bath, lock the door, and sleep. Because if I don't, Shigeta will come to my house and start complaining until the sun comes up. I've got a feeling. And Smith and I forget his name, Nobidome's teacher. I think his name starts with a T, I think. It's been a while since Rei played him. They just respond, he's got a point. Honestly, I don't remember enough about Shigeta to know if that's right or not, but apparently it is. Anyway, Shimada grabs his coat. Okay, I'll be going. And then he just walks down the stairs. We're back in the, not present exactly, but the more recent past. Ooh, gotta keep up the pace. We see a glimpse of just how cold it is with Shimada's breath blowing behind him. I mentioned earlier we might be moving in towards spring now, which I think would put us up to Kiriyama's high school graduation soon, I think. If that's where... I've talked before on another tangent about how it feels like March is starting to come to an end. And the high school graduation is just like a typical ending point. So that could be kind of where Umino is taking this. We get towards that ending, as all the kind of, as Rei's character arc is resolving, as he graduates high school, it all kind of comes to an end naturally. If that is her plan. I'm not saying it is or not. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like we're still in like early to midwinter maybe. Back on what my focus was when I started that tangent. Anyway, Shimada is like walking down the street. Whew, gotta keep up the pace. Okay, I made it this far. Just need to eat something quick, turn out the lights, and then I can do mating shogi on my phone to my heart's content. And he gets to the house, and Shigeta is already there, pouting. Already? How? Huh? And then Shimada just looks at him. What about the post-mortem? Not only that, how do you get here? You should go home and sleep. And Shigeta tells him, don't need one. A post-mortem, I mean. I know when and where I went wrong, just in the middle of doing it. That goes for both me and Nikaido. And we hear Shigeta's stomach grumble there. And Shimada just looks at him. Jeez. Alright, come on in. And Shigeta hands him makes him some food. Huh? Refrigerated udon? And Shimada snaps, don't eat it then, you little... but Shigeta just ignores him. Okay, thanks for the meal. Sangatsu no Lion, to be continued. Okay, so this is a cute chapter. It's one of those chapters that's very easily divided in two, with the Rei and Hina section. Honestly, it's maybe even you can probably even divide it into three, if I'm being honest. The first part being, Rei and Hina's very, direct conversation, as they very clearly and maturely state what they want from each other, how much they want to see each other, they set clear boundaries for each other. Like, Rei would be happy to come over to her whenever, but also he's going to be honest if he can't. And Hina, who spent the past few weeks, I think, worried about keeping Rei away from his shogi, is like, okay, but you cannot lie. If you can't come over, you cannot come over. And so I like I said, that's probably my favorite part of the chapter, is just a very mature way of handling their relationship, which is kind of ironic, given how I've complained, especially near late New Year's, about the way either the art or her hairstyle during New Year's or her outfit just made her look made Hina look very, very young, like almost like a grade schooler in an uncomfortable way, which again kind of drew me back to some of the reasons I never really got into Honey and Clover, Umino's older series. And so it kind of made me worried about how Umino was going to take this relationship going forward. This is a chapter that makes me much, much more confident in it. The relationship is based on a mutual love for each other and an understanding that they're not the be-all, end-all of each other's lives. Rei almost certainly, like Rei says on the top of page 6, I'll definitely respond with, I can do it tomorrow at 8, or I've got a match in 2 days, but I can definitely do it in 3 days. And Hina calls him out, like, really? If you really can't, you'll really say so? And Rei is like, it'll be tough, but I'll try. And Hina holds him to that. Like, you better do that. Don't force yourself into an unreasonable schedule. So that's definitely my favorite part of the chapter right there. And then it moves into this kind of very short sort of the two of them having fun, talking about nothing really, about eraser stamps and menus she'd like to make for the stand in spring, which isn't really nothing. It's just as meaningful as Rei talking about shogi, due to the fact that that's her ambition, much as shogi is Rei's, as has kind of been the Kawamoto's arc of their own recently. But it's just some cute, them interacting and just enjoying each other's company there, in a less serious way. And then we get to Shimada. And honestly, I miss the manga's earlier focus on Shimada. Shimada and Nikaido are two of my faves, and they've kind of gotten the short end of the stick in the past couple of years. So I'm very glad to get to spend more time with them. Even if Shigeta is kind of a nothing character that I don't know a whole lot about. But I love the gag that Shigeta somehow got to Shimada's house before him. That's just really funny. And he's just like shivering out there, ready to pout. I'm kind of curious about this line that Shigeta has near the very end. I knew when and where I went wrong, just in the middle of doing it. That goes for both me and Nikaido. Given that Shigeta is out, if it were just about Shigeta, I just kind of toss it up as some, like, fluff, a little bit of light characterization for Shigeta. But Nikaido is kind of coming up, as I think Rei is playing him in the next match at the Shishio, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think Rei plays Nikaido and the winner plays Shimada, right? That was part of my argument for the series is wrapping up. So maybe that line, I don't know enough about shogi to know how that kind of line would sort of tie into the upcoming Rei Nikaido match, which I hope gets his own, fairly long arc, just because I love my son so much. I love Nikaido. He deserves the world. But anyway, we should keep an eye on that going forward. And then we kind of carry on the gag from, I think, part 1 of Winter Scent, however long ago that was at this point. Like way back in, when was that? December, I think. About that same kind of topic. Shigeta like asking for Shimada's food and being ungrateful. And it's just a light way for the chapter to end. So yeah, according to the Hiwamata Noboru website, there will be no March in the, I think it's April 9th issue. So the next opportunity will be April 23rd. So just keep an eye out for that. Hopefully it comes out on the 23rd and not on the, whatever the next issue is. I think the second and fourth Friday of the month. So I think it would be like May 14th, I think, because there's 5 Fridays in April. But yeah, all in all, a really fun chapter. Really cute. About as much of a ReiHina shipper as I've ever been after this chapter. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!